Hi everyone and welcome back to SunBurst Tarot, or today this has been a highly requested reading from a couple different people, and this is going to be on Taylor Swift, and I'm going to do it not blatantly, but like more on a broader sense of let's look at Taylor and some of her past partners that she is no longer with. The two main ones that I've been asked to do are Matt Healy and Joe Alwyn, and people are just like, can you just give us some, like, what happened, what's going on, where are we now, and stuff like that. Uh, and then in a part two, I want to look at separately of, are either of these two exes, Matt Healy or Joe Alwyn, going to be featured on her newest album, The Tortured Poets Department, coming out on April 19th. So I wanted to do this reading first, though, so you get this general vibe, and then, because I don't know I haven't read on either of these two individuals in relation to Taylor, so without further ado, let's get into it and see what we can just pick up. So, just a quick reminder, everything I'm going to be sharing here today is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. No facts here, just really all my opinion. I'm just using tarot as a tool to delve into or potentially get some other information that we might not know about, or helping understand a situation better. If you want to use what I'm saying to help form your own thoughts, opinions, and conclusions, please do so. If you don't want to, that's all right too. So, the first thing first is I am just intuitively psychic downloads, channeling, whatever you want to call it. First things that I'm getting here with, like, Joe feels just like, I just see an eye roll in my head. It's like, oh gosh, another thing, just one more thing, and I'm just seeing an eye roll with him, and then I'm like, and his energy is a lot stronger in this reading already, I'm feeling, and then I'm kind of shifting it over to who I think is Matt Healy. I will say I don't know everything. I kind of went in a little bit blind. All I know is Matt Healy was apparently an ex of Taylor's in like 2021, I think, is the information I was given. And the fandom kind of tore him a new one, and they weren't really happy with him. And like, so that was a breakup. So there's been a lot of people who are like, are they going to get back together? Is this album about him? So uh, that's what I know about Matt. Joe, I know, was her long-term partner for many years, back in like the 2010s, and that was a whole mess apparently. So, but kind of shifting my energy over to Matt, he's definitely feels a little bit more reserved, and it feels nervous. Like I feel like I just want to like bite at my nails or like pick at my nails, and I'm wondering if potentially if that might be like an anxiety response of some sort. I know that's one of mine. When I'm super stressed, like, I will pick at my nails and bite at them because that's like a method that I use to help, not help, but it's like one of my like anxiety trigger, like when I'm anxious. So like I just feel like a lot of nervousness energy from him, just right off the bat. And like Joe's like, oh goodness gracious, another thing. So that's what I'm feeling here. So what I'm gonna plan on doing first, getting into the cards, I just really want to see, one, what is this energy in relation with Joe and Taylor, and what, and like I want to say what went wrong, and in my head it's like what didn't go wrong is like what I'm hearing, and it feels like it's coming, remember, all alleged for entertainment purposes only, it feels like it's coming from Joe. It's like what didn't go wrong. It's like there was like the thing with a cat, and with the cats there was a thing with how the hair was, it's like the color of the chair, it's like something was always wrong, something was nitpicky, it feels like. And it's like we can't keep doing all this nitpicky. Like, it's just nitpicky. It's the word that kind of keeps coming to my head. And then also here, I'm also, and like I said, I haven't read up a ton on these two. I've seen other readers. I've watched some other videos, but not a ton. But like, I'm seeing like items being like thrown across a room, and I'm like, okay. So I don't know if there was like reports or allegations of like things getting like really heated, and people, when they're upset or frustrated, like sometimes they will need to release their tension or their frustration in some other way. Some people like to throw things, some people just like to scream or yell, some people like retreat into themselves and get really cold. So, but like that's what I'm kind of seeing here, and these are like, it's like we go from 0 to 100 real quick, and like 1 minute we're fine, and then we're talking about the weather or the coffee or something on the newspaper, and then like 5 seconds later it's like a full on, like someone's screaming or yelling because it's like we've flipped a switch. And it's like, I don't know what to do here right now. It's like I see just like the hands up, the placating, like everything's like we're doing like placating gestures and moments, and I'm like, what in the world am I seeing here? So that's like initial energy I'm feeling here with like between Joe and I think Taylor's, like all this is all like what I'm getting, impressions and stuff. So, ooh, I don't. If I was the person who would have to be like, my dears, we need to calm down, settle down, I don't know how I would do this, because I personally, whatever energy you kind of send at me, I kind of match. Is that healthy? No. Have I been in the past the person who's like, you can yell and scream at you, and I'll be like, okay, so what are we gonna do about it? Yes. However, like we can switch and we can change up, and I'm like, what I'm feeling is so intense. It feels like I'm getting triggered and being like, I don't know what else you want me to do other than fight back, which is what this is, the energy I'm kind of feeling. It's like, I'm ready for a fight. I want to fight. I want to do this. Like I need someone to. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. So again, like this is just stuff that I'm picking up. Like this relationship dynamic that I'm feeling between Taylor and Joe feels just very heated. Like we're going from 0 to 100 real quick, I feel like, from Taylor's side, in my opinion. And it's very much along the lines of, you need to go to therapy to figure this stuff out. And if it's like, because it's like a reaction, or we're being very reactive in a situation. So like that's just the initial like feelings that I'm like getting, and it's like there is some, like I'm really more, I think, connecting with Joe's energy here, where it's like this is like an experience that I'm potentially going through. But it's like I'm hearing like this was the norm, and it's like, and I'm not accusing anyone of any one thing, because it's like I've been a hyper reactive person in the past. I've gone to therapy and I've worked on it. However, like what I'm feeling here is like it's like we go from 0 to 100 real quick. I'm hearing like this is the norm, and it's like this isn't the norm. This is like unprocessed trauma. This is unprocessed, like this is reactiveness, and it's like, why are you reacting? Why, like there are certain triggers, and it's like we're trying to figure them out. However, we aren't, once we figure them out, we aren't addressing them to heal from them. Now it feels like we're just trying to avoid them instead of healing them. Okay. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ooh. So this relationship, I mean, I even haven't pulled cards yet. Uh, with Joe and Taylor, it feels, the man in my head is like looking like a saint. In just being like the cool, calm, collective, being like, come at, you want to fight, I'm not going to give it to you. It's going to be like, you need to yell, you need to scream, you need to let out and vent your frustrations, and you're doing them in a pretty intense manner. Let them, let those emotions be intense, let those emotions be. However, it's like you keep going through the same cycles, the same patterns, and it's like, we've addressed this, we've talked about this, but nothing's changing. So you kind of like, so it's like, why keep putting yourself through a similar situation over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result? That's insanity, right? So once it's like you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and nothing's changing, well, something's got to, we have to do something to a we have to remove a piece, so maybe the cycle stops. And sometimes that means leaving, because it's like, you need to change, you need to do this, and there's something that needs to do that. So that's what I'm feeling here initially. Okay. Was not expecting that, considering I've read Taylor and Travis quite a bit, and that doesn't feel like that's been, I don't feel like that's been a major dynamic between the two of them. But this is on Taylor and Joe. So let's take a look really quick here at Taylor. Yep, there's the Knight of Wands, volatile, a little bit unpredictable, hyperactive, hasty, not shocked, considering what I was just saying before. And then we're going to have Joe, which is the Four of Cups, which is kind of interesting. So this is like, I think, in the middle of their relationship. It's like we have Taylor over here, who feels very much aggressive, unpredictable. It's like, remember, we're going from 0 to 100 real quick. And then we have Joe over here, which is like, you have all this chaos going on over here, and I'm kind of having to detach from my emotions. So I even think that there were like hurtful words said in like the heat of the moment, where it's like, I didn't mean them, but they came out. So it's like, I have to detach from all that so I can just focus on like staying together or staying grounded or staying within myself, especially here with this Four of Cups showing up as Joe. And then in between the two of them, the Queen of Coins. Yeah, so like I'm seeing here with Taylor's like this seems like a little bit unpredictable in this relationship and situation. Am I saying she's like this or like this now? Or like this in saying like she is this now? No. Am I saying that this is the energy between her and Joe? Yes. Or at least in the past when they were together. Also with the Queen of Coins here, it's there seems to be like there seems to be a level of perfection, or like, I want this to be perfect, or it's like everything needs to be right. And because I'm getting like perfectionism, also with that jealousy kind of showing up here between the two of them. I'm wondering if there were rumors that like Taylor was jealous of people talking with Joe, or Joe was like jealous of people talking about Taylor. I don't feel like it was that. But also here with possessive, imbalance between work and home. So yeah, it definitely feels like the Queen of Coins here. It just looks like with their relationship dynamic, there's a lot of tendencies of like, we need to be the best, we need to look the best, we need to, it's like, it feels like there's a focus on self-image, and what are we projecting out, what are we not projecting out, which I think was prevalent, because there wasn't a lot of pictures of Joe and Taylor when they were together, and they were together for a lot of years. So they weren't in the press a lot, they didn't, and stuff like that. However, with like this work-life home imbalance, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like one of the main things that came out through paparazzi, media, gossip networks is that there were some issues where it's like work-life home balance. And in here, it's like we have one person who's advocating, like, why aren't you home more? Like, why are you working so much? And then like on one side, it's like, I need to do this, I need to do that. Like, I have goals, ambitions. Like, I'm a workaholic. And it's like, you don't need to work so much. You don't need to work all the time. You don't need, like, we can be at home and have a normal life. Like, we're meeting goals, we're meeting things. Uh, like, we don't need to, like, why do you need to push so much for one thing? It's like, you're never home. And it's like, well, we could be home together, because it's like, well, you've done all the things. For some people who've made so much money, and then they're like, I just want to make even more. I want to be bigger. I want to be more powerful. And it's like, you really don't have to. Like, I think you've proven yourself. I mean, personal examples with like, so take it from, so say you are, I don't know, you're in your late 20s, early 30s. And say you have a job. Yeah, you have a job and you make a ton of money, or you've made a ton of money. Like, you started your own startup. I know this isn't going to relate to everyone. So say you started your own startup and it, like, in like your mid 20s, and you kind of just, it went off. I don't know. And it blew up, it got really big, and then you kind of just sold it to the highest bidder. Whether that was a big Fortune 500 company or something and or other. I come from the startup world, so this is kind of the examples I know. So it's like, you start your business and then you sell it for like $500 million. And then, like, you had a ton of stock in it. And then, so now you are like a million, but like now you're like a millionaire overnight, because you built up your company, you did your thing, you've sold it, and now you have all this money at your hands. So what are you going to do? Are you going to, for some people, they're going to want to go and look at the next big thing that they want to start. Especially with creatives, like, you're always looking, or like serial entrepreneurs. Like, individuals are going to, like, oh, I'm going to start my next project. I'm going to start my new thing. I'm going to invest in different companies and stuff like that. Or they're going to do more of like a consulting role, where they are helping others build their businesses, but they aren't going to be starting their, you don't need to start your own again. If you get what I know I'm kind of maybe jumbling this up a little bit, and let me know in the comments down below if this is confusing, but it really is just, you've made your money. You don't need to work as hard anymore. You don't need to work 60, 70-hour weeks to make it go anymore. You can go down to maybe 20, 30 hours a week to make it go. So it's like, you don't need to work so hard. You've proven yourself. You have the recognition, the accolades, the resources, the money, whoever, whatever, to show that you've done it. You don't need to push the envelope consistently or constantly. So that's what I'm feeling here, with just Joe and Taylor a little bit. So yeah, and that's what I kind of feel like we're kind of stuck at a little bit, where even if Joe is mentioned to Taylor, yeah, she gets really defensive about this relationship. She gets really defensive, I feel like, whenever this relationship is brought up around her, or it's like something she doesn't like to talk about. I see like her like clamming up a little bit, and it's like, I really don't want to talk about it. I think she'll kind of like steer away from that topic of conversation, because it's like, this is something I think she's still healing from, with the Six of Swords reversed here. It's like we still have some healing to do, I think, around this wound when it comes to her and Joe. And this is like something that she doesn't talk about or want to talk about, which is interesting. It's like she holds this really close to her, because it's like, this is something that I really care about. So like, holding it close means that either one, I don't address it, or two, I don't put it out into the world so others can address it for me, is kind of what this feels like. All in my opinion here. Yeah. the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Cups reversed, and the High Priestess. This is something she just does not address. This is something she does not address, it feels like, with Taylor here. With the Knight of Coins reversed, the Knight of Cups reversed, and the High Priestess. So Knight of Coins is kind of all being stuck. You aren't moving, but Knight of Coins or Knight of Coins upright is all about kind of slow, steady progress moving forward. When it's reversed, it's like we're not moving at all. I would describe it as it's like the 2-ton elephant on your back that you don't address but you refuse to take off, even though you know it's slowing you down immensely. Also with the Knight of Cups here, this is a big heartbreak, along with the High Priestess, kind of seeing it. It's like, I know this is an issue, I know I need to address it, but I refuse to do so because doing so is overwhelming, because in the moment I didn't. In the moment, nothing was addressed, so now addressing it years later is like, you mean I have to address the elephant on my back and I just can't, and like the elephant is like made of like concrete, and like to actually get it off the back you need to actually chip away at it. You can't just take it and move it. It's like you actually have to like chip away and take like a chisel to it, because it's just that heavy and that big and that dense. And it's like you're not, and it's like the immense amount of strength it would take to like heave it off your back is just, you're not capable of right now, is kind of like the vibe that I'm getting here with Taylor, where it's like that whatever she's had with Joe, I don't think she's addressed it. In my opinion, like it hasn't been addressed. Like, yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm feeling here for Joe. My goodness gracious. This is just I'm really sad. And reason being is that this hurt. Like, this relationship hurt a lot. And, I mean, she was with Joe for quite a few years, if I remember correctly. And, like, having that level of trust and depth, and you've shown yourself the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Like, when you've shown someone that, like, all those different sides to you, like, that's a great amount of level of trust. And especially when you've curated yourself for so long, and maybe individuals watching this can relate. I know I relate. So it's like, for those of you, myself included, like, and here's an example. Like, I personally, like, had for like 4 or 5 years, I had a mask on. It is what it is. I had a mask where it's like, I'm emotionally indifferent. I'm the one who doesn't feel their emotions. I'm the one who helps other people address their emotions. And we kind of just trudge along with life and say, everything's fine, we're doing great. And that's what it kind of feels like with Taylor here a little bit, where it's like, we have emotions, we don't address them because we need to address other things. But like, when that one person kind of comes in and you're able to show them the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between, it's like this is my person. This is the person who's seen all the different sides to me. And this is when you've curated your look, such as like Taylor, who's curated her look to be this one type of person online, and then once you're finally able, or even just any celebrity, where you've curated a look, and then once you've like removed the mask and you truly show someone like who you are and all the different sides to you, like, that's a great amount of level of trust. And then once that person kind of like leaves, and it's like, I trusted this person with all the different sides to me. And some people can say, oh, it wasn't, like, I was too much, like, this is like, I can't trust people, I have to keep this curated look. Like, people can only see like this side of me, or relationships could only see this side of me. Otherwise, if they see everything, they're going to leave. And that's what it kind of feels like here a little bit, where it's like, that's the hurt. It's like, I've shown every part of me to you and everything in between. And then you ended up leaving, and it's like, we haven't addressed that. Because it feels like there's some potentially, all alleged, remember, this is just my opinion here. And it feels like some, like, I've shown you all the different parts to me. And for those who have like some potential abandonment issues, like, I feel like that's like one aspect to all of this. I also think there's possibly some rejection wounds, or not being able to live up to other people's expectations or standards. And when people leave, or when people leave you in your life, it's like you're getting rejected because you're not staying. And it's like, I'm too much, I'm not enough. And that's what I feel like potentially is the wounds here. And it's like, why things potentially aren't getting addressed. All alleged, for my opinion, entertainment purposes only. So that's what this relationship and where we're kind of at, especially from Taylor's side, is. All right. So the next thing, no, I'm getting to you. No, you don't get to run away. Sorry, we're gonna go now into Matt Healy, because I feel like that was a lot just with Joe. Okay, so with Matt Healy, Matt's energy to me just wants to run. We want to run. We want to run. We want to hide. We don't really want to be here. Like, that's what I'm kind of feeling in this moment, especially when it comes to like looking or delving into like what that relationship is with Taylor. It's like, I want to run, I want to hide, it's like, I want to go find the darkest corner possible and just sit there and have everyone ignore me, is what this feels like. And I wanted to say, for those of you who might be down in the comments, and it's like, I know, like, allegedly this is what was told to me in a few comments, where it was like Matt Healy's, like, when him and Taylor started dating, like, the fandom went after him, like, really hard, like, hardcore. Like, they went after him, and it wasn't pretty. It was really, really bad. And I think he's still, like, at least the energy around it feels like I'm afraid of these people, because I don't know if there were like death threats, or like threats to himself, or if there were like claims of like, I'm going to hurt you, or this, that, or like people coming after him. Like, truly, this man feels absolutely terrified of this fandom. Like, terrified. Like, it's very much like, I don't want to, like, just leave me alone. Just, like, I just want to be, like, everyone's just ignored me. Everyone's ignored me now. Like, we can leave me alone. Like, it's fine. They don't need to come after me. I don't want them to come after me again. Oh my goodness. Like, settle down. Let's. So, like, when he's, like, his energy feels very fearful. So, which is why I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm gonna do a part 2 when it comes to Taylor's new album, and I want to kind of see like what's the vibe, who's it potentially about, and and look into that there a little bit more. So, oh my goodness, I've had to shuffle these quite a bit. So, let's just take a look into Taylor and Matt Healy and kind of see what we're getting there. Okay? So, let's just settle down here a little bit. Like, my heart just wants to, like, it's not racing, but it feels like it wants to skip beats, is what it feels like. We are just so nervous and very anxious, is the best way I can describe it. It's like we're anxious, we're nervous, like, I'm getting, like, short of breath. It's like, it's hard to breathe. Like, are so very nervous in Matt's energy. So, okay. So, like, things that I'm hearing initially before I even pull a card. So, like, from Matt, though, it's like, Taylor's not bad, is like what I'm hearing. It's like, Taylor's not bad. I actually, like, and I'm hearing, like, love. I am hearing it. And, like, in my head, it's like, I did love her. And it feels like for him, it's like, I don't know if it was a romantic love, but it's like, it's a love. It is a love for her. And it's like, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad guy. It just feels very, very, it's a little bit mournful. It's like, I love her. But it's like, I know I can't. And it's like, I'm feeling like tears prickling at like my eyes now. And it's like, I want to care. I care for her. I care for them. However, I think the fandom just scared the absolute hell out of him. Jesus. Interesting. I'm also like, and like in my head, like I'm hearing a lot of laughter, and like I don't know if there are any like pictures or if there was like videos or something between Matt and Taylor, but it feels like a very playful type of energy between the actual two of them. It feels very, very playful, like siblings almost, or or like really close friends, or it's like I'm gonna do this goofy thing and like and like you're laughing at the goofy thing that I'm doing, and it's like they both bring like a big smile to each other's faces. It's like I feel like they had great conversations. Like the dynamic was like a really easy back and forth flow. Like I'm feeling like a temperance like between the two of them. It's like I pour into you, you pour into me, I pour into you, you pour into me. But I'm not feeling this as like a romantic type of love. It feels very much more platonic, platonic, very, very close friendship wise. And it's just an easy it feels very like a Six of Cups energy as well, where it's like very childlike, inner child. We're laughing, we're having fun. There's, it's like conversation flows so easily between the two of them. Like everything just flows. It feels you give, I take, then I give and you take, and it's just a very easy type of relationship. It's just so easy. Like I don't need to try. Is like the vibe here. Like getting into like their dynamic. However, the fandom is like the big bad boogeyman that absolutely terrifies the heck out of him. So let's take a look here at Taylor and Matt energy in between. So we have Taylor, which is the King of Cups reversed. Overly emotional, withdrawn, emotionally unavailable. Interesting. So, I'm not 100% certain if this is like between Matt and Taylor. I'm not 100% certain on the timeline, but was was Matt like the first guy that she dated after Joe? Because kind of seeing the King of Cups here, reversed, and if Matt was, it's like Taylor still was like keeping a very closed off, was very still very closed off. It feels like with this really like before it gets into like romantic love of some sort, because it feels like, remember we have all like, if this was right after Joe, it's like the whole Taylor and Joe's relationship, like she was like that's an internal wound that's huge, large, and doesn't feel like it was completely even like scarred over at this point. And it's like because it wasn't even like scarred over and it was like an open wound, it's like I'm kind of like we're not touching that. Like I'm not going to be emotionally available. Like we're kind of just keeping ourselves more reserved. However, we're still having like we can still have like an emotional banter back and forth, but like when it comes to like an intimate relationship, like just not able to give those emotions, like like the intimacy or like those romantic feelings out. Very much closed, very much guarded. Looking at Matt, we have the King of Coins. So interesting. They're both showing up as kings here. So with Taylor showing up as the King of Cups reversed, Matt with the King of Coins. Matt in this, blah, 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 whoo, okay. Words are getting tongue-tied. Matt is feeling like a very stable person, like out of all the chaos, out of all of like the hurt, the wound. Like Matt in this case felt very much like a very grounded individual, someone that we could go to, stable, was consistent is the word I'm hearing in my head. Consistent. I don't ever have to worry about what he's going to say, what he's going to do. He's reliable, he's consistent. There was no variation in what was going on. So it's like I don't need to worry about what I need to say, how I'm saying it. I can be my full true self here, it feels like, and I know the reactions that I'm going to get. Matt also here feels like the rock in the storm, the island in the storm that's kind of steady, sturdy, and like doesn't move. So like in like the fallout, because it feels like Matt was potentially the guy right after Joe. It's like after all of it, it definitely feels that Taylor's in like a swarm or a storm of like uncertainty, of people going after her, this, that, and the other thing. And Matt was just like the rock that she clung to in this situation. And that's what it feels like. It's like she clung to Matt in this situation because it was like, I need to shelter from my own self and from everyone at large. Because there's a lot of people who I think were talking, like I said, this is the assumption if he was a guy right after Joe. Which I think he was. It feels like it because we're still in this emotional whirlwind or storm. So, yeah. Okay. So that's what he's showing up as. And let's look at the energy in between the two of them. The Devil. Unhealthy patterns. Codependency. Yeah. Negative karmic connections. A little bit toxic. So, like I said before, it felt like the energy flowed really easy between the two of them, but that's because it's like Matt did care for her, but he was also the rock in the situation. He was the person who was like, I will shelter you from the storm. However, it's not based on a healthy dynamic, considering Taylor, it feels like in this situation, my opinion, was just a very, like I said, she was coming out of a long-term relationship, was not in a healthy state of mind, clung to a guy who seemed to, like, at least could shelter her from the storm, but it wasn't a healthy connection, which is also part of the reason why it wasn't going to last. However, it's like, it lasted, it's not even that it did its purpose, it was just like, we gotta cling to one part, we did one thing, now we gotta go cling to the next, and then to the next, and then to the next, and it's like, slow your roll down here, please, a little bit. So, yeah, and even then, and Matt just feels like he was a very dependable person that was able to just kind of keep things, at least keep her somewhat grounded in like all the emotional turmoil. However, it was based on it's like a codependent relationship. So it's like everything was very codependent. It's like you were like, in my opinion, what I'm seeing from the cards, it's like Taylor was looking for Matt for everything because it's like everything else around her was in chaos. So like when everything else is around you in chaos, you kind of just cling to the thing that's not in chaos, and it causes a really unhealthy dynamic. Okay, what else do we have here? You saw me shuffle. I shuffled so many times. So here's Taylor again, she has this Knight of Wands energy, codependent, not codependent, but still this defensive energy around her, not opening up her heart. Yeah. And I don't know how long these two stayed together, but with the new moon here, it's all about, like, this is like a month, like around a month time frame. It's also about new cycles, and it's like we're starting up the new cycle again, but with a different person. With all, because Taylor here is still defensive, not wanting to really open up around things. With this Page of Swords, between the two of them, it's like, you know, those old patterns I was kind of saying from with Joe from earlier, like at the beginning of this reading. It's like those same things were coming up. So we're going to 0 to 100 really quick. And even though it feels like Matt was like a calm in the storm, like didn't want to fight or do things, I also wonder if he has like a past cycle of like exes or relationships where he's come in and it's like, I'm gonna be the fixer. I'm gonna be the rock in your storm. And he sees another person who's like in need of help, like as they're like in the middle of a storm. He comes in. It's like, but he has like the same. It's like the same cycles are happening over and over and over again for him as well. And I'm hearing yes, in my head. Yep. And then here's the Queen of Cups reversed for Taylor again. Fostering codependency. We have the Page of Wands, and then we also have the Six of Coins. Yeah, so looking at Matt and Taylor's relationship, it does feel very much one-sided, where Taylor was kind of lashing out in this case. Yep, with the Page of Wands here reversed as well, along with that Page of Swords. It's like we are reacting and letting things out, and we're going from 0 to 100 real quick. And Matt over here, it's like giving and giving and giving himself. It feels like he's a fixer type of energy here. And it's like, I want to fix you. I'm going to help fix you. Like, we can fix you. Like, this, that, and the other thing. And Taylor's over here just an emotional wreck, it feels like to me. Very much little digs, 0 to 100 real quick. Just emotions was bottled up and still bottled up, it feels like, but still in need of some sort of pillar to cling to. And Matt's this fixer type of energy, and I'm wondering, Matt, and now I'm wondering, I'm gonna pull some more cards here, but it's like, I'm wondering here, did Matt learn his lesson? Yes. And like, I think even after his relationship with Taylor here, it does feel that like Matt kind of figured out like, oh shit, he is this fixer type. And it's like Taylor came in, and I feel like with everything that went on between the two of them, which is Taylor showing up here again with this Judgment card reversed, and it's like negative self-talk, unwilling to learn karmic lessons. Oh boy. So it feels like with Taylor, like I said, in my opinion, Taylor, it feels like would benefit very, very much from going to therapy and not working herself to the extent that she has been, and doing a lot of time to do a lot of self-reflection. And maybe she has been doing this already, but at least within, like, remember, I'm just looking at the time frame that these were occurring, so maybe she has started. I'm not 100% certain. I don't follow her like that, but even now I feel like therapy is wonderful. It really helps you unpack certain traumas, unpack certain, like, why you might be aggressive in some ways, and helping you identify the causes, the triggers, and once you've helped identify those causes and those triggers, you can now then start applying those to when you start feeling triggered, or like, yeah, especially when you triggered is the word I'm looking for. It's like when you start getting triggered, it's like, okay, now that I've identified I'm getting triggered, why am I getting triggered? Okay. And once you're able to understand all of it, it helps a lot in being like, okay, so this is why it's happening. I can take a step back and maybe remove myself from the situation and be like, but is that happening now? And it might not be in that certain situation or scenario. So, like I said, when it feels like when it came to Matt, I feel like learned a karmic lesson here, and it's like, I know I'm a fixer type of person. I'm wondering, even with like his people, like the people that he's dated after Taylor, or if he has dated, like there's might have been even like a shift in who he started dating, as well, because with this deep emotional cleanse, it's once this relationship ended, it's like, I'm starting a new cycle of me. I'm starting a new version of me. It feels like on that side, especially with this 10 of coins, it's like I'm building myself up to help heal, to help motivate, and be like, this is the type of person I am. These are the type of people I've been with. And it's like, but that's not helping me achieve what I want to achieve and heal. So, but then with Taylor over here, it's like we keep going through the same cycles over and over and over again. So that's what I'm feeling here between her and Matt, and kind of what has happened there. So, oh boy, this is already 46 minutes, and this is a lot, just between Joe and Taylor and Matt. So that's what I'm kind of getting here for them. Just about like when they were in their relationships, what was kind of going on there. I didn't really have too many specifics of like what people wanted me to look into, but like just seeing their dynamics, I can see why they didn't last or they broke up. It feels like in those situations, it's like Taylor, all legend, entertainment purposes only, has just some repressed trauma and things that she needs to, I think, work through. And that has been, and then in not working through like past traumas or past triggers, has kind of, they've like leapt into her relationships with others, especially I think more so with men, and like romantic relationships. And like I said, I don't even know if I felt like that with Travis. So looking at her relationship here with Matt, and then with Joe, and then even doing my readings with Travis, it feels like Taylor has definitely done some work, like from these past relationships to what she has with Travis now. Like there has definitely been work that has occurred. Like because I haven't felt like any of this unhealthiness or like emotion. How do I want to put this? The emotional variability might be that's how I think I'm gonna put this. And it's like in her relationship with Travis, it feels like she doesn't go from 0 to 100 really quickly, as much as it did when she was with Joe, or even when she was with Matt. So that's what I'm feeling here. I'm going to do one more poll for Matt here, and that is, I'm just going to be like, with Matt and the relationship with her fandom, and I'm just hearing, oh no, in my head, and I'm like, let's just, when it comes to that relationship, I want to take a look at how Taylor, Matt, and the fandom, and how was this connection working, and like, what did that look like, and yeah, what was that? Like, how did Taylor feel about her fans at that time, in relationship with Matt? How did the fans feel about Matt? And then what was that relationship like between Matt and Taylor, in relation to the fans of Taylor, or the Swifties? So, all right, let's just take a look here really quick. So we will have Matt. We will have Taylor. We will have the fan base. Then we'll look at the relationships between all of them. So Matt and the fan base. Taylor and Matt. Taylor and her fan base. Oh boy. Okay. Interesting. So let's just take a look here at Matt really quick. So Matt's showing up as the 10 of coins. So, and that's reversed. So I do feel that Matt, in this scenario, when it comes to relations with the fan base, it does feel like it's like this was a really bad. This is a bad relationship for me in like long term sense. I feel like, and I'm not sure, like I haven't seen a lot from Matt Healy after or even before he was with Taylor, but seeing this, it makes me feel like his career got blue balled a little bit here. Cause it's like I lost money by being with Taylor. It's like I had fans and then I was with Taylor and then I lost all my fans. Or I lost a good portion of my fans. And it's like the popularity that I had isn't there anymore because people are looking at me horribly or like I'm a horrible person or this, that, and the other thing. With Taylor at this time, we have the 9 of Cups upright. So this is emotional fulfillment. So seeing this in relationship with Matt and the fans, it's like Taylor, it feels like saw this as a really good, like was satisfied because it's like I'm in a relationship. My fans see me in a relationship. Like this is my bread and butter. Like this is not my bread and butter, but this is like everything's coming together. I have the guy, I have my fans, I have my career, I have my work. I'm doing everything that I really want to do. And it's like everything seemed to have been going well in like the grand like zoomed out picture because like she had a guy, they were doing music together, and that's like perfect, and everyone's like, oh, wonderful. So that's what it feels like with Taylor here. And then we have the fans. The fans are like the 6 of Wands, which is like, ooh, rah, rah, we're showing off, we're showcasing, like they're the big bad fan base. Like, and I feel like at this time, like the Swifties were like they were huge. They're massive. They mean so much to not just an industry, but like to Taylor and to like the whole like community and ecosystem that is the Taylor Swift fandom. So like they're big, they're loud, they're proud, and they're able to do a lot of different things. So like they're also like the height of their power. Like they are like big, loud, proud, and in charge. So that's what I'm feeling here. It's like they felt like they were the victors, the best, and they were able to show off what they could do. Looking here at like the relationship dynamics now, we go in with Matt and Taylor. We have the 3 of Coins, which is all about cooperating, doing business deals. So like I said before, yes, they were together. Was it an unhealthy codependent relationship just due to factors that they brought into the relationship? Yes. However, when it came to them like making music and producing their albums at the same time and helping be like inspiration to each other, like that went off without a hitch. Like that went really, really well. It's like with a 3 of Coins, it's like you're doing it together. Like things are going really well. You're meshing. You're able to work extremely well together, and that's where I think I was getting the like everything flows so nice between the 2 of them because like when they're working together, like it's so easy. Like we have a great synergy. Like you have ideas, I have ideas. Let's tweak this, let's tweak that. And it's like they were both able to creatively come together and like weave like masterpieces. It feels like that's the word I'm getting. So like in that sense, they were really good. So looking now here between the fans and Taylor, we have the Wheel of Fortune. It's like so Taylor and the fans are like they're both like on point. They're like the fan base is growing. Taylor looks like amazing in their eyes. It's almost like we're putting Taylor on a pedestal. It feels like even more during this time frame, especially with the Wheel of Fortune upright. It's like it's good luck. It's opportunity. We're expanding. It's like a windfall of different things as well. So especially, and then with the fans showing up as the 6 of Wands and the 9 of Cups for Taylor, it's like things are growing and expanding and going in a very, very positive direction. It feels like. I think like after this time, like a lot more people like really got into Taylor Swift. Her popularity started booming. She was working really hard as well, and she was like proving herself, like doing new albums and tours, and really, really promoting herself. So, like, during this time, phenomenal. Like, really, really good relationships. However, looking between Matt and the fan base, we have the Two of Wands reversed. The fan base, it feels like, and the fan base wanted a lot for Taylor. And I don't think the fan base saw Matt as a person that was going to support Taylor. It's like, you need to reassess, you need to set your goals, like, who are you, like, what are you doing, like, you're just using Taylor. It feels like those are some of the words, like I said, I didn't do a ton of research on this, so if I'm hitting on things, let me know in the comments down below. If I'm, like, completely off, also let me know. But it really, really feels that, like, I know the fan base didn't like him. And he's like, isn't that... And it's like the energy I'm getting is like, isn't that the truth? So I don't know why I'm also hearing, like, I don't know if someone called him, like, a bum or, like, a clout chaser of some way, shape, or form, because it's like, it feels like it's like, who are you? What are you doing? It's like, you're not good enough is really, really what it feels like here. With between the fan base and Matt, and this is Two of Wands, and it's like, you don't know what it's like you're not good enough is what it really feels like here. And he went through the ringer. Like I said before, I think he also, I don't know if he got, like, threats made against him upon his person, but, like, when it comes to this fan base, I think still terrifies him to this day. It's like, I don't even want to step outside before looking both ways 4 times, and then I'm able to even step out, and that's after I pulled up my hoodie and I have, like, my bodyguards around me. Like, they treated him poorly during this time, and he is, like, still terrified, I think, to this day of them, because they made his life a living hell. I don't think he has any ill will towards Taylor, though. I think he sees her still as, like, a creative genius, like, really good at what she does, a hard worker, and the such. So, like I said, I don't think he has any ill will towards Taylor. I think a lot of it is just, like, keep my name out of your mouth, because I just want to live my life over here away from all the craziness that was that time of his life. Because, like, I'm moving on, I'm growing, and your fan base terrifies me. And that's what I'm kind of seeing here for between Matt and Taylor and their, like, relationship, and then what was going on with the fans at the time. Also, that's what I'm kind of feeling with, like, Joe and Taylor. So I think that's all I'm going to do here for this part. So I'm going to leave it here. If you guys gonna want to go to that part 2, I'm gonna be putting up a video on the Tortured Poets Department album that Taylor has coming out, and after doing this video, I can kind of see maybe our Joe and or Matt in that album. So, excuse me. So join me for part 2 if you want to go see that. Otherwise, thank you so very, very much for watching. I want to thank everyone who's either liked this video, shared it, left a comment down below, and if you want to stick around and see more content, I highly suggest hitting that subscribe button if you haven't. So thank you so much again for watching, and I hope to see you guys either in part 2 or in other videos that I have. So alrighty, so bye!